And good morning. Hi, I'm Walter and I'm the Dutch mentor. And welcome to our beautiful Adirondack Mountains in New York, upstate New York, as we are going to be commencing on a journey of 12 weeks, one topic per week, where we hope to reach out to both the middle manager, the emerging leader, the aspiring leader, and maybe even the rusty leader, the people who want to just kind of have a quick check in for about 15, 20 minutes per week on a set time on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. We, of course, welcome your participation. You can post any questions. I will be presenting a topic per week. Today we'll be starting with your why, and then, of course, you field questions that will complete max time about 30 minutes. As we know, our brain can handle about 20, 25 minutes of information. So what I'm trying to convey here today and each week after this is a short topic with some actionable takeaways that will allow you to continue to grow as a leader and accelerating your career. So again, I'm Walter. I'm known as the Dutch mentor. I've been in healthcare executive and clinical provider for over 30 years. And I too had to climb the career ladder the hard way, like most of you. And often we get stuck in this, what we call this valley of despair, this transition between doing and leading and not receiving the right support systems around us that causes a great amount of frustration, both in the fact that I don't feel supported or I'm not gaining traction as quickly as I am used to as a high performing doer. We see this a lot, of course, in healthcare, but it's good, that means across the industries, it's really very much the same, especially for those people who are technical and going from a technical role into a leadership role. But we have to take charge of our own careers. We cannot depend on others to do for us. But before we even get into the topics of how to motivate and how to inspire, how to build meaningful partnership and relationships, it is really important to start with your why. Of course, why is that? Well, self-awareness is a cornerstone of effective leadership. If you truly are self-aware and understand your differentiating strengths, your blind spots, then you can make a difference every single day. You can continue to grow and develop. So this program is about supporting your self-awareness journey, and then, of course, making a deep commitment on how to continuously develop yourself. And I don't care if you're just starting out or you've been doing this for 30 years. If you feel there's no more room for growth, it's time to pack your bags and go somewhere else. Sadly, 78% of folks today are working begrudgingly. They're really not happy in the roles that they have. I saw a scary statistic that nearly 79% of the healthcare workforce feels stressed or near burnout. Of course, a lot of this is instigated because of COVID, but it also has really questioned a lot of people for themselves. Why am I doing this? What is my true purpose and passion in life? So I would recommend two takeaways, two action items. I want you to go to YouTube and go look at a TED Talk from Simon Sinek as starting with your why. I can try to explain it myself here, but he does such a wonderful job in this 18-minute presentation. Hey, listen, if somebody knows better, then point at them and go seek that information there. What he does so well is differentiating between the what and the how and our why. When I work with my clients, I often, not often, but I always start off by discovering the why behind the person. And I would say easy 95% of the people really struggle to understand what their why is. And if they go on a journey of telling me a story, it's usually 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. Many words of, attributes are being used in those descriptives. In other words, it's like everybody else. But you are not like everybody else. You are unique. You have your unique cultural background. You have unique experiences. You have unique actions that are giving you your results today. So going on this exercise of truly understanding your why is extremely powerful. And I would highly encourage each of you to do that. So what I encourage my mentees to do is to come up with a 43-second story. Why you say 43 seconds? Well, 43 seconds is built into three components. It's 8 seconds of the hook, about 30 seconds of the body, and then give it another 5 seconds to close out. And why is that? Because we only get to make one first impression. Just think about it. If you're riding the elevator from the 10th floor down the ground floor, and your CEO steps up and says, "Hey, Joey, hey, Susie, tell me something about yourself." Instead of going on a 5-minute rendition of your career and your performance elements, uh, you shoot it, and gone it is. It is more important that you have in your heart a story that can be told at any time, anywhere, at a networking event, riding the elevator with your CEO, or if you go into your next interview. And 35 to 45 seconds is about the span of attention that people are willing to give you before their minds start drifting off into something else. It is also important to make sure that 45 seconds of storytelling is not like everybody else. If you fill that again with a whole bunch of consultative attributes, people are going to be lost. And you say, listen, you're just one of the 20 people who just I spoke to before you, and the 20 people I will speak to you afterwards. You have to come up with a unique story that belongs to you. And therefore, the hook is probably the most important part. And people really struggle with it. How can I make something that is very interesting? So I always start my story with, listen, I was riding my bicycle when I was 14 years old in Holland. And an accident happened right in front of me. An elderly man was hit by a car while he was riding his bicycle. And I sat on the ground right in the middle of the street, holding him in my arms as he was dying. That took me about 8 seconds to tell. And most people say, hey, listen, I want to hear more. Tell me a little bit more about what the story is. How is this relevant? And that's when you switch from going telling the story, the hook, get me interested and unique, to right at that moment in time, and I had epiphany. I knew I wanted to be a healthcare provider. I wanted to go into emergency medicine. I never wanted to feel like the hopeless again. And that was my driving force. Of course, as I continued my career in healthcare, and I did reach all my goals and my dreams, I had this desire to have a greater impact, and that's what led me into leadership. And today, I have this wonderful opportunity to work with people who lead others. And at the end of the day, if I help develop leaders, they will have an impact on how we provide patient care. So that's about 43 seconds if you put it all together. No attributes, deeply personal, deeply meaningful. And it's likely that they will remember that story if they have to interview 10, 15 people. So you need to come up with your story. And I would recommend, as the action item in the takeaway, is to use a storyboard for that. Right? Get some post-its, write down a whole bunch of things, or write your story in longhand, right? 1 or 2 pages. And then go back into it and really look for that moment in your lifetime where you had that aha. And the ahas don't always have to be traumatic. They can be enlightening. It could be uplifting. It can be emotional. It can be a family member. It can be a friend. It can be anything. But something that is uniquely yours. It's really through that process that you can start developing your why. And listen, this is not easy, and you should not be doing it alone. It is something that will take days, weeks, and months to do sometimes to get it just right. But start off by writing it out, and then fine tuning and presenting it to a couple of your peers, a couple of your family members. Practice it while driving in your car, sitting on the train. Reach out to a coach or a mentor. Go to my website at thedutchmentor.com and book a free consultation. I'd be more than happy to listen to your story and help fine tune that for you. Because at the end of the day, that's where the train leaves the station. That's where you get to make the first impression on the person that's likely going to hire you next. That's the person you're going to meet at your networking event that's going to remember you because of your story. Now, why is this important? Because everything else that comes after this also should be told in short stories. A hook, a body, and an end. Not endless conversation, not 2, 3, 4, 5 minute long stories about how you performed or the performance of the team. Everybody is going to do the exact same thing as you are going to do. So be different, stand out, be concise, be mindful, be a good storyteller. That, on the end of the day, is going to give you exactly what you want. a lasting impression, and a really great opportunity to be remembered and be invited back for that second interview. So, with that said, I'm going to see if there's any questions at this point in time. There's one question that came up: is that can I receive help, or is there any website I can suggest to where I can find examples? Well, listen, Google is a wonderful thing, right? I would suggest, instead of looking for your why, other than going to YouTube and looking up for Simon Sinek, starting with your why, that 18-minute TED Talk, I would simply go for a Google search and type in learn how to tell a story. Learn how to tell a short story. There are ample examples on how to do that. And that's where the magic takes place. Learn how to tell stories, and you will be remembered. All right, let's see if there's any other comments. If not, again, I invite all of you to come back. It's on a weekly basis on Thursdays at 10 o'clock. Next week, we will continue our journey, and I'll give you a quick glimpse into the future. It's going to be around building a personal brand. It's about building an individual development plan. It's about establishing habits and behaviors and how to measure, especially around the Zen measure. It's about learning how to be a responsible leader, how to love the people, how to focus, how to create a winning environment, how to motivate and work with great focus, and how to build genuine partnerships. So join us on a weekly basis on Thursdays at 10 o'clock, and let's see where we can take this together. If you would like, you can always go to my website at thedutchmentor.com, book a free consultation call, and see if there's any kind of synergies or anything I can help you with. Again, the goal is not here to sell the program, but here the goal is for you to make a deep commitment to yourself for continuous learning. And it starts by becoming really self-aware. Have a wonderful day. We'll talk real soon, and I look forward to hearing back from you with your questions, and I'll certainly bring them up next week. Take care and have a wonderful day.